Bonjour, welcome to the latest episode of Indian Way with Johnny R, the podcast that records live from the southern shore of the mighty Red Lake. I'm your host, Johnny R, obviously. And today we have a very special guest all the way from Montana. I don't know if it's Poplar, Montana, but he's a Montana boy, gentleman that I've worked with many times on the road doing comedy. He's a good friend of mine. He's also featured in our Res Comedy documentary. So as soon as he clicks on here, we will be ready. I invited him on the Zoom thing. So but today's episode is brought to you by Hustle Tribe, Chase Manhattan, and his clothing company down in Minneapolis. So I got this from. I also have a pair of socks here somewhere from Hustle Tribe. Check them out on Facebook. Also brought to you by Tashina Branchard Designs, which is also on Facebook. Look her up. It's where I got my beautiful cup from. I also got this beaded Red Lake, my kind of logo-ish from Mrs. Beverly Prentice, Miigwech Beverly. Also, who else is there? Also brought to you by RC Sounds with Wes and Dan Jourdain and Mike Needham. They got their own sound company with providing awesome sound service for powwows, weddings, any celebration. So look them up on Facebook, RC Sounds. Also brought to you by Res Dog Productions, who will be, I think he's at the Northern Lights Casino tonight and tomorrow, playing all the anti-hits. We'll call them the anti-hits, because all the music he's going to play is going to have all the antis out on the dance floor, giving her hell. So go check out Res Dog Productions and Northern Lights Casino and the Cabaret, I believe it is. That's a fancy word for beer joint right inside the casino. So that's where the Res Dog will be this weekend. All right, I'm waiting for Beef to answer my Facebook click to join our meeting here. So, but everything else, man, it's pretty. How about that weather out there, huh? Pretty intense. Did it get you? Because it got me. Well, not really, but I'm all right with my Suburban and Silverado. We're gonna be all right, get in and out of the woods, because that's where I live right now, on the shores of the mighty Red Lake. So that's where I will be. Oh man, he needs a meeting ID and password. Let me see. All right, let me see what we got here. On this computer. Okay, there we go. Hello there, Donovan. Beef Archambault. How was your travel in?
It was good, man. We kind of hit some snow the closer we got this way, and roads are pretty snow-packed right now. It was about a 8-hour trip for us. But yeah, it was good.
Dang, 8 hours, huh? Jeez. I can't imagine driving through the plains. Was it snowing all the way then?
No, It snowed a little bit when we first got into North Dakota, and then kind of turned to rain when we got to Minnesota, and it started turning to snow when we start coming north.
Yeah. Man, I hate that driving from Montana through North Dakota and back to Minnesota. It's just so unpredictable sometimes, man. You just don't know what you're getting into.
And there's nothing there too. Like, there's no scenery. There's nothing to look at.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. But so you got a big show tonight. You, Rob, and Tanya Joe Hall are going to be providing some entertainment for Cedar Lakes Casino. Is that your first time at Cedar Lakes?
Yeah, last time we were over here, we were down in Walker, and I think Rob had mentioned something about Cedar Lakes, like they were they were trying to do a show up here or something like that. And yeah, then I got the call from Joe. Is it Joe Wynn?
Yep.
Yeah, I got the call from Joe and to come over in November. I think this was back in September, and I was like, yeah, man, let's do it.
Oh yeah, man. They put on a good show over there. I like how well Leech Lake Gaming handles their shows and takes care of their people, man. And it's really good to see that up north, man. They really take care of us over there. And one of my favorite spots to go to.
So where are you at right now?
I am in Red Lake, Minnesota. I'm about 55 miles from you, but I was gonna go down that way and check it out, but I'm not too sure about the roads now. So I don't know about making it to the show, but I really want to, because I know they can really pack them in down there. That area is pretty intimate. When you get on stage and you get all them people in there, you can feel all that Indian around the area, and it just really exciting to be in that place sometime. Well, all the time for me. So what you got planned for the day then?
Just kind of hanging out. I came over with my dad and another friend of mine is shooting a documentary. It's not about me or about comedy. It's actually about kind of some stuff going on back home. And it's really he's seen a show of mine. Mm-hmm. And he told me to keep in the loop. I did a local show it was like a fundraiser or something, and he said to keep him in the loop that he wanted to film some of my next set, like professional film. Uh-huh. His done stuff has been on National Geographic. So like he's a documentary film guy, anyways. But so I let him know about this one, and then we got one next weekend in Tacoma, Washington. And so I let those two, and I'm flying over for that one. So I told him this one would probably be the better one to come to because we were driving and he could jump in. And so, yeah, us three came over and we're just kind of hanging out, waiting. Maybe go check out Bemidji's, only 14 miles away. So they got a mall over there. Might go check it out.
Okay. Yeah. See the sights, man. It's pretty nice area. I don't know how the weather is down there, but today up here it's blowing all over, and I'm scared to go out, man.
It doesn't look too bad. The roads look snow packed a little bit. Looks like they're starting to melt too, though.
Okay. So. Yeah. So with that documentary, it just makes me think about the one we did. I don't know if you got to watch it yet. It was not quite what I wanted, but it's it has to come out. We had to show people that there's actually a film that we made, with all the money that was invested in. I just needed it to get out. It just the coloring was a little faded, and a lot of the titles weren't on some of those that we interviewed, and some of the like when we interviewed Charlie Mullock, we on the title it has him in Tacoma, Washington, or not Tacoma. What is that other Washington, where Von Eaglebear was? And
Spokane.
Yeah, Spokane, Washington. We have Charlie Mullock in Spokane, but he was actually in Montana. And there's a lot of the things that I went through with when I first saw it. I wasn't nothing what I wanted, but it just got to a point where there was like a creative difference thing where we couldn't agree on things, and he had everything over there, and I couldn't get what I wanted done. And then I finally acquired the footage about a year ago. And then it took me another few months to be able to upload it because it's such a huge file. He sent me a 5 terabyte external hard drive. So I had to find something where I could upload it, and it took me a while to get this laptop to open everything up. And then when I got in there, it got to a point where, man, that's a lot of work. I'm like an amateur video producer, and this is like full on movie production type stuff. So I figure, we'll show it, and then we got some people interested in finishing it up for us. But it's just been a long 6 years, man. I just needed it out there. So
yeah, So aside from like the I don't know if you want to call it cosmetic stuff, like names, things like that, like the storyline, all of that stuff, is that kind of what you expected? Did that play out how you wanted it to?
Yeah, I like the, people sharing their stories was the main thing we wanted to get out there. And our premiere we had a couple weeks ago, a lot of people really were really receptive to that. Couple people got emotional watching it, hearing other stories. And I think I watched that, might have been my third or fourth time watching it, and that's the thing that sticks with me is everybody's story is different, but we're all the same somehow. It just all comes together, even though we're all from different areas, and we all believe that the humor is like a coping slash healing mechanism that we use, and that's pretty much all I wanted to be shown.
Yeah. Yeah, watching everybody tell their story, I don't know, there's just something that's something about native comedians, where it's just like or watching any comedian, I guess, kind of talk about their journey, like that's, for me, it's inspiring, man. Like it's really like man, I know what that guy's talking about, or you know, it's just it's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it was quite the journey to get, because I remember our first meeting about it was like June of 2015, and then we did all the fundraising and stuff, and hit the road September. We got back October 12th of 2015, and then almost 6 years to the day, we finally able to premiere it. But it was there's some things in there that were like a little questionable that I wanted to maybe get pulled. Like Charlie and Tito were doing their Indian thing there. They got a little thick with the accents, and I don't know if that's that should have been. It's just the way we laugh, though. Because I was thinking about it from an outsider's view. They probably think of it like being insensitive, but shit, it just left it in there, and people were really receptive to that too, man. That's just how we joke around, and figure that just leave more of that stuff in there.
Yeah, man, that's the essence of who we are, what we do. I don't think you need to hide that or edit it.
Yeah, it was pretty. First time I watched it, I didn't like it, and then the second time was okay. I can. It was just the anger when I first watched it. It was just the frustration of not being able to see it after. I think first time I saw it was like 5 years in, and then after a while I started being more receptive to it. Let the anger get away, because the differences I had with our producer there, and I let that get the best of me. But I think it just that little touching up with the audio, and not the audio, but like the coloring. And one thing I wanted more in there was the actual comedy, because I know our show we did in Newtown with Tito, and actually Dennis Gaxiola was with us that time. I don't know why he was too busy doing his thing there, but yeah, that show in Newtown was like a real solid night of comedy. And then it just there wasn't enough comedy in it for, even when we did our show with Casey and Chad Charlie in Seattle. He didn't put in any of that in there, and that's kind of what I wanted more of. So that was one of my complaints.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that watching that. I was like, there's not too much sets in here. There's a lot of talking, a lot of, but yeah, that would have been that'd have been nice to see if there was more of somebody's set in there.
Yeah. So hopefully that's another thing we can add into it, because I know there are people interested in finishing it off, adding more, and just professionally go through it, I suppose. And that's just one of the main things that I wanted to be done. But yeah, so how's your comedy journey going so far, man? With the pandemic and stuff, it looks like you're thriving. You're back out on the road and living the dream, brother.
You know what? It's been good, man. It just kind of, as of recently, started to pick back up. which is crazy because back home things are they're still kind of in limbo, man. Some things are shut down. The tribe is in what we call phase one right now, where only essential employees are at work, and it's only from the hours of 10 to 2. The school, so this past, what was it? Wednesday, the girls got home Wednesday from school, and they had, they had informed us that they ended everything, sports, my daughter's basketball season. Um, they had like two, they call them jamborees, and it's not really a tournament. It's like all the local teams kind of meet, at these different schools, Brockton, Poplar, Wolf Point, and they kind of play each other, and they call them jamborees. And so,
Oh, you got cut off. Oh, what happened? Okay, you're back. Can you hear me?
can you hear me now?
Yep, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, no, like I was saying, like it just kind of as of recently started to pick back up, and you know, people starting to do live shows again and live crowd, and take it as long as I can get it. So
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much where I am, man. I'm at a point where I think the last decent show I had was right before everything shut down, like February 2020. As the last time I really felt that rush, of a big crowd that just, feeling it. And, was that going on 20 months now, and I'm just, I think it's time to maybe sit back and try other things. I'm trying to get into podcasting more now, and then get back into writing and doing videos, because the comedy thing, it seems like everybody is scared to come out, of course, but it's just not the way it used to be. And it's not many opportunities around, especially up here. The only opportunities we get are with Leech Lake, like you guys are doing tonight, and they do those maybe quarterly. So I'm just sitting back trying to dig into something else until it all happens again. It's pandemic is is killer for artists, man.
for sure. No, I hear you. I hear you on the writing piece, man. Like I kind of just started to get back on this writing kick just because, dude, I've been going over the same set for probably the past, God, five years now. And I first noticed it back in I did a thing in September, and September and October I did another show, and I was when you first write something, like when you write a good like a good joke, and like you're excited to get on stage and tell it, and that lasts for so long to where, like, you ever tell a joke too much and it's like, I don't even want to tell this joke.
Yeah.
It's dumb now, like you've heard it too much. And like that's kind of where I was getting with almost my whole set. So it was like, man, you got to get back to writing, start getting creative. And probably about the last 3 weeks or so, I've kind of been on this kick, waking up in the morning, drinking my coffee, and just writing material.
Yeah, that's the thing. There are times where you have that like the enthusiasm, where something an idea pops up. I put it on my phone, something comes up again, I just grab my phone, put everything in there. And shit, I haven't done that since about maybe springtime, because nothing's really clicking anymore. I don't know if it's because Trump's not in office anymore, or
Yeah.
nobody to make fun of anymore, or what. But I just haven't had the creative juices flowing for comedy, and it's kind of bothering me. So maybe it's just time to step back and try something else until all that creativity comes back.
Yeah. No, I think, like with anything else, man, like we get in, especially artists, they get in ruts, where it's like, cause I know what those ruts feel like, where like I try to write and I try to write and everything like is stupid. Nothing is like, well, that's dumb. That's not gonna work. And I've even written stuff where like at the time I thought it was, oh, this is good, man. I can't wait, and I could see myself doing it on stage and all that. Then I'll go back and read it like 2 days later and like, oh, this is crap, man. This ain't never gonna work, and but yeah, then there's those days where it's like, oh, this is gold, and honestly, like you never know what's going to work until you get out there and you try it, and it's like, oh, wow, that didn't work. Maybe I need to dress up the intro more, or maybe I need a better plug right here, or this needs a punchline, and I found that with some of my material too. So like when it was something about drafts, or when I was talking about drafts, I had this whole skit on drafts, and I realized like when I first broke it out, telling it like there's no punchline. Like,
Mm.
there's no, like you have the build up and all of that, and like people are waiting, and then you just kind of
No
leave them high and
payoff.
dry. And so like yeah, yeah. And so like those are things where I don't know, like I enjoy that, like the testing new material and what do I got to do to doctor it? I think that's part of this art. So
Yeah, the last time, couple times I was out, man, I was trying new stuff and it just didn't fly, man. And the last few shows I've been doing, just the stuff that happens while I'm on stage, a thought pops up and I go with that, and that's working. And I'm scared to go up there and not have anything, and just to try and rely on, my not so quick wit anymore. It's just it's a gamble sometimes, because the last time I went up, it was just terrible, and I didn't feel it, and that's why I've been thinking, maybe it's time to step back and try something else. And it just the love for it is fading, I suppose, because it's not there like I want it. Because man, I want to go to sold out rooms every night and just talk shit. And that's the best part of this, is you just get to go out there and talk shit, and everybody has to listen to you because you have the mic. And sometimes it clicks and sometimes you feed off the crowd, and being able to feed off the crowd is what keeps me going. Like Hulk Hogan back in the day, is feeding off that
right.
energy, and the energy just hasn't been there. And I don't know, it just I don't know. I'm just looking at other things right now, but I'm just glad to see you guys are coming up this weekend, and I really want to make it down there. I'm trying to get down there, but I gotta find my sitter first.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's just I don't know. I think it's part of the all of that's part of the game. I've had shows like that too, where it's you go up and I don't know, man. I have this thing like where I try like if the material's not jiving, I start doing my crowd work. I'll pick out somebody, not really to clown them, but just to like a simple question like, so what do you do? And that
Hmm.
and that can spark other things like older material, or you see a couple sitting together and it's like, so how long you been together? And then like that, like it just kind of gets. I found that when you get the audience involved, like it's more like they really take to that,
Yeah.
um, when they feel like they're part of the show or something like that. So that's kind of something I've been trying to incorporate the last couple outings is like crowd work, man. Work your crowd, because that really don't require any of your written stuff. Like that stuff is all, just kind of quick wit. Um, and really, man, like the audience is funny too. Like their answers, some of them are pretty man, they kind of make the show. So
Yeah, there's a couple shows where I had couple people that wanted to participate, and I ended up having to deal with them like a heckler, and that kind of set off like a
uh,
thing in me where I could just keep going off of that, and that worked. But it seemed kind of seemed kind of mean to me, but it was, the crowd was into it, and that was it was actually I suppose being a mean jerk, my wife calls me. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna start doing now, man.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear my dad or not. My dad rode over with me, but he just now came in.
Hello there, Beef Senior or Mr. Beef. Call him Mr.
He left now. He walked in and he was just jabbering away, and then I kind of had to like Dad.
Shushing your dad. There you go. That's
Yeah,
power there. That's power. So other than your tonight and then next week, what is your calendar pretty full then, or do you have other things on the you wanted to try, or where are you going with this?
So the guaranteed stuff is stops next week, but there have been inquiries. One was for Al and I haven't heard back that in first December. Then I just got on the way over here, I just got another message yesterday about a Christmas show back in Montana on the Flathead Res. And so, I kind of shot them all the stuff, all the details, price, all that stuff. And, just waiting to hear back. But yeah, I'm at a point in my in this career where it's like I do, man. I have a set price, and it's I kind of don't, because like in the beginning it would there was a time where like I never made $500 doing stand-up comedy. Like that was like I never, holy cow, that was a huge payday, and so I didn't know how to negotiate that. And I think that's the thing with a lot of native comedians, where like they have to be their own agent, and they have to negotiate, and they have to like do all of this stuff. And so I've been doing this for about 10 years now. Since 2011 I've been doing this. And I'm just at a point now where it's like, look, here's my price, you can take it or leave it. And that's what it is. Like, I don't feel like a loss if they say, oh, well, we only have this much in our budget. And, especially, traveling, because basically what you're asking for is your time, like that's what's your time worth to you to come over here and do this. And for me, that's time away from my kids, my wife, my family. This is what it's worth to me. And if not, then it's like, well, is what it is. I don't feel like it's a loss or anything. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. So those are the two guaranteed things. And honestly, I'll keep doing this as long as they keep calling, man. I'd eventually like to hit a tour, like even of like clubs, like city clubs, man. Start getting, I don't know if Main Street, what you want to call it, but start getting out there, like outside of the normal Indian country where we stayed. Get outside of that, man.
Yeah, that's the dream there, man. But it's kind of, I think that's with the reservation dogs and Rutherford Falls, kind of flashing a light on the indigenous comedy scene. That could be the next big thing. Producer could probably put together a show and just throw us out there, and hopefully, something comes of that. And it just, I think we're on the verge. Native comedians are just knocking on the door, ready to kick that fucker down and just take over and just be pure savages on the street and the stage and take over the country. And but that's just my dream, because if I get out there, man, if I was younger when I started this, I don't think I would have lasted very long, man, because I'm just a hell raising young dumb kid and didn't know anything. But now that I'm older and wiser, well, not wiser, but a little long in the tooth, I got a little knowledge now. So I think I'll be all right. I think I'm ready for the fame and stuff now. So if they want to throw it my way, I'll behave myself. That's just I think I'm ready. I think I'm a full grown man now, even though 45 years old. I still, my wife says I act like 16, but whatever.
Yeah, man. I agree. I think natives breaking into the mainstream. It's becoming more of the, it's happening more and more as opposed to shoot even 10 years ago, man. Like the only natives that were mainstream coming up were like, when Charlie Hill and Von Eaglebear and J.R. Redwater, they all had that thing on Showtime, and that was kind of really the only like mainstream thing that you seen. It wasn't too far. You kind of had to search for that
Yeah.
Indian comedy. But yeah, I think it's happening more and more. You had those guys did that Amazon thing. Did you get called out for that?
Yep.
First Nations? Yeah, you were. And they had a whole, 10 seasons, or not seasons, but what do you call those?
13
Episodes or whatever. Yeah. And so, now you got reservation dogs and, so it's like, it's probably not going to happen overnight, but like, it's going toward that way. Like, oh shit, natives are here, man. And they're funny. Like, look at this,
Yeah. It's just a matter of time, maybe I would be a little too old when it happens, but shit, I'll be happy to see a bunch of little Indian boys and girls out there having fun, talking shit and just sharing their stories. Because a lot of us growing up, man, it seems like where I grew up, it's kind of a lot of things were done in the shadows, and it's kind of something that the community doesn't want to be brought up. But I mentioned things that probably shouldn't be mentioned, and I'm usually getting in trouble. But a lot of people think it's funny, so just making fun of a lot of our not historical traumas, but shit that we witnessed that we weren't supposed to witness. It's what made us us.
For sure, man. No, I get some of that. I get some of that flack too. About like, I've been criticized even about like, this guy is not even funny. All he does is rag on Indians. All he does is this and that. And it's like, well, there's two ways of looking at that. It's like, number one, like I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I don't try to be like, I try to, I am who I am. And it's, if it's not for you, well, not everyone watches Fox News because, they don't like it. Not everyone watches, and I'm not asking for everyone's approval. I just, like, it is what it is. I am who I am. And for as many people that have that point of view and would say that, there's probably an equal number of people who would support me and say, well, that's not what he's doing. This is what he's doing. So it's kind of depends on how you frame it too.
Yeah, I run into so much of that around here. It's kind of hard to be booked, and it's hard to be get any spotlight around here unless you play basketball or you're you know just play basketball, I suppose. But yeah, we have a lot of these kids are going to college and graduating, and we need to shed more light on that too. A lot of things like creativity, they're using their brains in the right way. Gotta give them some spotlight too, and just because we play sports. And it just growing up on the reservation is so much more different than anywhere else. There's a certain, like, got to watch what we say because offend elders. And I don't know how many times people say that about me. It's not, it's more like, don't be mad at me because you guys are the ones that raised me. I'm the reason I'm like this is because of you guys, because of my environment. And a lot of people don't want to admit that. So these kids got a lot of a lot of obstacles to go through to be successful, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
All right, man. I think we'll let you get ready, let you go through your notes, and good break a leg tonight. I'm gonna try and I should make it down there. I want to see that room packed with a bunch of little brown faces, and I know you guys are gonna bring it, and you guys always put on a good show, and a huge fan of yours and Tanya and Rob's, and it's gonna Gonna be a good night in Indian country on the Leech Lake Res, man. So break a leg, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully we'll see you this evening.
All right, man.
All right, no shot.
Stop.